It was so loud. I thought like a piece of wood had broken.
Welcome to Repertory Company Theater's RCT360. I'm Deidre Sherm.
I'm Laura Alley.
And I'm Rachel Ratcliffe.
And ladies, this is episode, I had to look just to confirm, number 44. And this week's episode, our theme is Act 1. Laura?
As many of you know, most scripts are divided into two acts. Act 1 is usually kind of the setup of the story. It involves introduction of characters, their story, their world, and some kind of inciting incident, typically a conflict that propels us into the second act. And it usually is about 45 to 60 minutes of the play or a musical. Deidre.
Yes, and we have a show coming up at RCT. You're going to hear a lot about it in this episode, Spam-A-Lot. And ladies, I just want to know, I asked you to prepare, do you have a grail to drink from today in honor of Spam-A-Lot? Let me see. Oh, nice, Laura.
Gold plated.
Oh,
yes.
Very nice. And if anyone knows me well, my holy grail is a tea from Starbucks.
Yes,
so
it is.
Oh, I love iced tea.
Let's play a little game, why don't we? How about every time someone mentions the words Repertory Company Theater or RCT,
Okay.
we all stop and take a little drink. What do you say?
Sounds like a plan
Okay.
B.
Let's
Great
do it.
thing
I like
great
it.
thing to do on RCT360.
Oh.
Yes, that was a quiz. That's good. Oh,
Okay.
good. Now we're in the groove. We're in the groove. So, hey, speaking of our drinks, what is it that you ladies like to drink backstage during a show, especially if you're taking care of your throat?
I actually have two different ones. I like to have a Diet Coke just backstage for coldness, but usually like about an hour before the show, I will take a small shot of honey whiskey just to kind of coat the throat and just kind of burns through anything that's in there. And that way, by the time we get to the showtime, voice is good to go, takes care of it.
And I'm boring. I drink water. I try and stay super duper hydrated, especially if I'm doing a show with a lot of singing in it. And then if I've got anything that's a little bit scratchy, then throat coat tea is the mamma jamma. It does not taste good, but it gets the job done. Slippery elm, the secret ingredient in the old throat coat tea. Yeah.
Hey, whatever works. And it's no surprise. Mine's iced tea. Keeps us going backstage. So, I like hearing what you like to do there. So that's great. Hey, this episode we have full of wonderful surprises. We have first our one and only RCT favorite.
Oh, crud. I'm not listening.
Gary Anderson, a favorite on and off the stage, one of the nicest guy. We have now Naval Captain Josh Heppola and a visit from Michelle Laval, RCT Director Extraordinaire. Wait, what do you got in your glass there, Laura, by the way?
Water. I have rehearsal later.
That's probably good. Rachel, we have to have you take a nap before this show is over.
Yeah, the goblet's a little fuller than I thought it was going to be, but it's fine. It's fine.
Well, hey, why don't you tell us a little bit, Rachel, about what we have coming up?
I would love to, Deidre. So, RCT will be presenting Monty Python's Spam-A-Lot. It's going to come up pretty soon, March 19th through 28th. Rehearsals have started. We are all so excited. And to address social distance restrictions during the pandemic, this concert version of Spam-A-Lot is intended to be played to a socially separated audience by a cast of socially and physically separated actors that are all appropriately placed around the RCT stage. So the show is very lovingly ripped off from the classic film comedy Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So Monty Python's Spamalot retells the legend of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table in a truly unique way. And our own Laura Alley can be featured prominently in this cast, returning to the stage. So excited about that. So tickets are on sale now. Check them out. It's a limited run. It's going to be socially distanced, so not as many seats as we would love to have. So get them quick. They are available by calling the box office or online at rcttheater.com.
And excuse me. And Rachel, if you don't want to spend a lot for Spamalot,
I see what you did there.
See what I did there? See what I did? Yeah. The first person to comment Grail in the comments below will receive a free ticket to Spamalot.
Oh, that's so exciting. I love a giveaway. Wonderful. Well, I cannot wait to see that show. We are so excited to have you back on stage. Laura,
when you come and see this production, you will in fact see me stand a lot in Spamalot.
Oh my gosh, you're bringing it today.
Where I stay and I stand a lot in the show, and that's fun.
It's clever juice in your goblet today.
Oh, I feel like you're like a modern day Dr. Seuss at this moment. I don't know. So, well, we can't wait. We cannot wait. And you know what else I can't wait for? I feel like it's been a long time. Rachel, I need some quarantine confessional. Bring it and take it away.
Thank you, Deidre. I cannot tell you how excited I am to be back to bring you another installment of Quarantine Confessions. Come closer, closer, but not too close. So today, friends, we're talking about theater. We're talking about how excited we are about Spamalot. And anytime that I talk about Spamalot, of course, that's going to lead me to think about Monty Python, the famous British comedy troupe. And anytime that I think about Monty Python, I also think about my dad, who was the one who introduced me to Monty Python. My dad always had a dry sense of humor and was a really super funny guy and really kind of a connoisseur of funny. Like I can remember him, he was an engineer and he had this beautiful block handwriting and really pretty cursive too. It was kind of weird, but he would watch a show or he'd watch a comedy routine and he'd write down the things that were funny so he could save it and think about it and probably use it and pilfer it later. But I digress. So the gateway drug of Monty Python is always Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's so good. If you haven't seen the movie, you have to. My entire childhood is based on a series of Monty Python quotes. You know, she turned me into a newt, I got there, which, as you can see, is one of the amazing genesis of my incredible accents and dialects. So thank you, Monty Python. But I would say, don't stop just at Monty Python and the Holy Grail. That's your entree point. But if you want to go a little bit deeper, you have got to check out Monty Python's Flying Circus. And this is one of the fondest memories that I have of my father, is sitting around and watching old episodes of Monty Python's Flying Circus. Now, I can actually be pleased to report that Monty Python's Flying Circus, the TV show, is actually older than me in that small category of things like fire and the printing press, but it still counts. But when I was younger, you could still see reruns of Monty Python's Flying Circus on PBS, I think, and it came on late at night, so it was really fun to stay up and watch. But you got amazing things there, like the lumberjack song, and the Ministry of Silly Walks, and the fish slapping dance. And while all of these things may seem a little bit odd to just discuss them, I encourage you, go look them up. So, young people of the world that don't know about the things that old people like myself enjoy, go to the Googles and the YouTubes and the TikToks and do yourself a favor and look up Monty Python's Flying Circus You will not be sorry. And I am going to go and look up some old clips right after this show finishes taping. And that is my quarantine confession.
Rachel, I literally laughed out loud when you said that it was the genesis of your special brilliance of your accent. So thank you for that. Can completely relate to the love of the Holy Grail. And speaking of, I may have to take a run to the bathroom, but before I have to run away, I want to say, hey, Laura, it's time for In the Spotlight with one of our old RCT favorites, Gary Anderson, who, if you know him from his work, you love him. And if you know him off stage, you love him anymore. Take it away, Laura. RCT.
Today's In the Spotlight interview is an RCT OG. Please welcome to our webcast the multi-talented Gary Anderson. Hi, Gary.
Hey, how you doing, Laura? It's good to be here.
Thank you for being with us today. First of all, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do?
I am a 20-year RCT veteran. I was thinking about that the other day. It was 2001 when I first showed up and auditioned at RCT. So I've been a digital marketing professional, a graphic designer, a writer and editor, and all those kinds of things throughout my career. For 10 years, the last 10 years I spent working at the Richards Group, which is a big, giant advertising agency in Dallas. And then God had other plans, and about the end of 2019, I got shown the door, and that was just fine because I was kind of sick of being there. Anyway, so since then, we've been trying to figure out what our next adventure was, and my wife and I just decided, you know what, now's the time. So we kind of started our own little media company, and that's what we're doing. And so we're kind of our own boss at the moment. I'm looking forward to actually making some money. That would be nice.
And how has that new line of work changed due to the pandemic?
Well, you know, it's interesting. The pandemic really didn't affect us all that much at all. We were already planning on, you know, a working from home scenario moving forward. But what it did, because my wife, she hadn't quit her job yet. And when the pandemic hit, she was working from home for the first time for about 6 weeks, like, you know, everybody was. And it was in those 6 weeks that we kind of learned that, oh my gosh, I think we can actually work together without ripping each other's faces off.
Right.
So to be honest, you know,
Right.
we were both very honest about it. I wasn't sure we could do that. So
you've learned a lot about each other during this, and you have started, can you tell us a little about what you've started, your new podcast?
So our first project is a true crime podcast. Both my wife and I are former journalists. That's what we went to college for. She was working for the Dallas Morning News up until 2008. So we kind of both wanted to get back to our journalism roots. And we started listening to podcasts, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, you know, when Serial happened, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the big one that kind of made it something. And I remember listening to Serial going, man, hey, this is kind of journalism in the new media, the new world. And it was fascinating. I enjoyed it like everybody else. And then we just started listening to other podcasts, and some we liked and some we didn't. And there were some that we liked though, and we were listening to them going, these guys aren't journalists. They're good podcasters. They're good, you know, documentarians, but they're not journalists. We think we could do better. And so that was just kind of tucked in the back of our mind for a few years. And then my wife and her colleague really started kicking around the idea a couple of years ago. And so when we decided to make this jump, we just said, you know what? You remember that idea? Let's dust it off and let's make it happen. And so July 1st, that's exactly what we did. So we've been working on it ever since.
Nice. And what is your podcast called?
It is called Still, a lowercase s, as in these families are still waiting for justice, still waiting for peace. And of course, there's all kinds of double entendres in that. So
Nice. And how do you go about, I guess, like producing or coming up with your story for each individual podcast?
So for this first one, again, we wanted it to be journalism. We didn't want it to be, a lot of podcasts out there are, a couple of people with a beer in their hand just talking about the crime of the week. And that's not what we wanted to do. We really wanted to do, investigative work that we felt was important and made a difference. And we wanted to be really sensitive to these families, these victims' families, because, they're still hurting. And so it all started with going onto the Fort Worth Police Department's cold case website. You can go there and they have all kinds of cold cases listed. And we looked at cases all over Texas, all over the nation. And me being the frugal guy that I am, I said, hey, why don't we start kind of locally so it doesn't cost as much to get started? And so I kept veering us into the Fort Worth. Anyway, and it worked out because there was a great story to tell there as we started digging into it. And so that was the genesis of it. We hit on the 80s because there was a string of murders in the 80s that, my wife and I grew up in the 80s and we're like, oh my gosh, I don't recall this happening at all. And so it was just really interesting to us on a personal level.
Nice. And what would you say is your favorite thing about doing a podcast?
It was back in September, when we were deep into research. We hadn't produced a thing yet. And we had reached out to the sister of one of these victims, from 35 years ago. All these folks are about my age or older now. And we didn't get in touch with her, but Karen left a voicemail with her. Karen's my wife. And we got a voicemail back. And thank God she didn't actually answer the phone. This woman was not happy to hear from us. Oh, yeah. It was really hard to hear. And it really upset Karen quite a bit. But, we got past it. We still felt like what we were doing was important. So we had that happen. And then we had the absolute extreme opposite happen, where we got hold of another victim's sister here about 6 weeks ago. They were one of the last people we got hold of. And she could not have been more gracious and appreciative. And she's our biggest fan. And we've cried on the phone with her. And she is so thankful that somebody cares about her sister's cold case from 1985. And, just hearing her break down on the phone, and we're breaking down on the phone. Yeah. That's when you go, wow, this matters. And that's what's been cool.
So it's kind of a double, there's like kind of two things that you're doing there. You're entertaining people, but you're also helping and getting the information out there and maybe helping these families get some closure, or just that their story is being retold, and maybe it will help some, things come up out of nowhere, and that was a long time ago. So you never know what could happen, right?
Exactly. That's exactly what we hope for. We hope that, getting this word out will jog somebody's memory, and there will be somebody out there who didn't have the courage 35 years ago to come forward with relevant information, and maybe they will today.
Well, Gary, that is incredible. Thank you so much for sharing this with us today, and hopefully we'll get some more listeners for your podcast out there. And you guys can see Gary next on the RCT stage as Merlin in the Camelot concert version this summer. Gary, thank you so much for being with us and sharing this with us today.
Really, really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. And I have been listening to Still. And if you get a chance, yes, go to the reportersnotebook.com and take a listen. It is well done. Well, another well done thing I'm looking forward to is who's going to be the winner this time for Little White Lies. Rachel, take it away.
Thank you, and welcome to another installment of Little White Lies. So today we have a very, very special guest. He is a local actor, star of the RCT stage, and so much more, honestly. He is also a Navy captain, so be a little bit scared. Actually, you shouldn't be scared because he's one of the nicest humans that you could ever possibly meet. Please welcome Mr. Joshua R. Heppola.
Oh, thank you, Rachel. Great to be here.
How you doing? Okay, I haven't talked to you since you got promoted to captain. So
Yes.
number one, congratulations. That's huge.
Thank you.
And number 2, do you now have any sort of top secret information about aliens? And if so, is there any you can share with the RCT360 family?
I'm not able to share that information at this point.
Okay, I see, you passed. See,
No,
that was actually a test because
Yeah.
I was working as like a government operative and you passed. So you get to keep being a Navy captain. Congratulations. Every time, you come through every time.
Cool.
All right, so Josh, I think that you are aware of the general rules of our game that I usually do a very poor job of explaining, but you have been instructed to prepare 2 envelopes with 2 statements in them. One is a truth and one is a lie.
Yep.
You will open one of the envelopes and then Laura and I will ask you questions to determine whether the envelope that has been opened is a truth or a lie. So may I see your envelopes? Good. Those are nice white legal sized envelopes. I feel very good about the contents inside. So you know what, without further ado, let's just bring the girls in. Deidre, Laura, you around?
I am here and ready for alien intelligence.
Excellent. Look, it's Hep, guys.
Yep.
Hi!
Okay, Josh, show us your envelopes again. That is literal and not figurative in any sort of way. And Deidre, you pick this
Ooh.
time. Are we gonna go with envelope number 1 or envelope number 2, top or bottom?
I feel like we've had a lot of number 2, so I'm gonna go with number 1 today.
Number 1, I love it. I love it. I think that's a strong choice. All right, Josh, will you please open and read the contents of envelope number 1?
Ooh.
You seem surprised.
Hep's professional theater debut was as Chuck in the original play The Proper Charlies at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Okay, all right. Laura and I have 3 questions apiece to ask you. So let's go. Do you want to round robin it, Laura?
Let's do that. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, I'll start. What was Chuck's last name in the show?
Not given.
That's a terrible last name.
All right. Yeah, that's terrible. Chuck not given.
Yeah.
Who wrote the Tale of Charlie play? Whatever it's called.
It was written by a group of students at the London Academy of Performing Arts.
All right. Was anyone in the play dressed? No. I'm changing my question. What was your costume as Chuck in The Proper Charlies?
Basically what Josh Heppola wears every day.
Was your shirt tucked in?
Yes.
A polo and some khakis.
Yes.
All right.
Very average guy.
I like that. How old
like it.
were you in this production?
31.
Okay. And where did you stay when you were in Edinburgh?
Ooh. It was an apartment, and I'm pausing because obviously Airbnb wasn't around back then, but it was that kind of idea. It was like an Airbnb we arranged manually with somebody, and we stayed in an apartment about 10 minutes from the theater.
Okay. And then here's my last question. Why were you in a student production at 31 years old? Go.
Because I was a student at 30 at the London Academy of Performing Arts. Never too young.
No, never too
No,
old.
never too old. Sorry, never too old. Never too old.
Never too old to learn.
Or young, old or young. We're
Or
all
young.
just-
Age is irrelevant at this point.
It ain't nothing but a number, I think, as has been said before. So well played. All right. I think I know the answer, but I actually feel like I'm cheating because I feel like I have insider trading knowledge here. But maybe I don't. Maybe this is a trick. This could be this. Here's what I'm thinking. I think it's true, but I don't know enough of the details to say if he played Chuck in The Proper Charlies or if he played Troy in The Super Great Thomases. That's where that's where I fear that I
I'm
could
agreeing.
be lost here. But
I feel like I feel like you're right, and it's true. I feel like it's probably true, but it could be false because, like I said, some of the little details could have been changed to protect the innocent. So, I don't know. What do you think, Rach?
I'm gonna go true. I'm gonna go true.
I feel like this is also true, but in order to have good, a good game going, I'm gonna say false.
Okay. Now our bases are covered. Now, Deidre, you've been listening to all of this amazing investigation. I'm curious, what's your take here? Truth, lie? You'll actually be the tiebreaker.
Let's see. I'm going to go with false because I think he's such a good actor. There has to be a little bit of acting in this moment. So I'm going to go with false. I think something's not quite right.
That's what I'm thinking. He tweaked some details.
Now, you may very well be right. Captain Hepala, please tell us, is it a truth or is it a lie?
Well, it is a true statement, and I have the 1-star review in the Edinburgh Times to prove it.
All right, 1-star review. Just 1 star.
1 star.
Giving you 2 stars. Maybe a different costume. Giving you 2 stars.
But
What
yeah,
did it say?
was-
What did the review say? Can you remember?
I can. It was just one sentence. I think it said, what do you get when you mix an English punk, an upper class snob, and a dull Yank? And I was the dull Yank. Boring 6th grade humor.
Oh.
That was the review.
That was the review.
Oh,
That was the start of my professional theater career.
Nice.
It is so delightful to have you. Thank you for being here with us today. Come back anytime. We'll hang. We'll talk more about
thank you.
Pirates
No,
of
this was
Penzance.
fun. You guys were great. And yeah, that was definitely a fun little game.
All right.
Love you.
Take care.
Guys.
Bye.
Well, I didn't win that one. That's okay. We'll come back for another day. Right now, it's time to go to Laura, as each week she likes to give us a little look behind the scenes. Laura, take it away.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes, your little peek behind the curtain here at RCT. And today we have Spamalot director Michelle Laval, and she has some behind the scenes scoop for us. Take a look at this.
Hello, I'm Michelle Laval, director and choreographer for RCT's upcoming production of Monty Python's Spamalot, a socially distant, concert-ish version. Musicals are ready to come back, and as a director, I was so excited when I found out that the creators of Spamalot have reworked their original musical for a COVID edition. Spamalot is a musical adaptation of the famous cult hit Monty Python and the Holy Grail. The creators were so great in keeping all of the stuff we love about Spamalot in the show. We keep our actors socially distanced, and when needed, we wear masks. Our cast is small, but we are mighty, and we are excited to come back and show you how safely you can be entertained with a Broadway musical. Now, directing and choosing a musical is always difficult, and even more difficult with protocols put in place. However, I'm so excited, and I believe so strongly that we have picked the perfect musical. So I invite you back to the theater. Wash your hands, don't forget your mask, and I'll see you at Spamalot.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Ladies, I'm so looking forward to Spamalot. I can't hardly stand it. Laura, didn't you say that there's like a lot of maybe like COVID, or not COVID, but quarantine references, and just really like on par for what we need right now?
Yes, the writers of the show actually rewrote the entire script to be a socially distanced COVID version of the show. So there are jokes in there about the fact that no one can be on stage. We can't have big dance numbers. It is actually worked into the show in a really funny way, and very clever, very smart of them, I think.
That is so smart and funny. I cannot wait to see it.
I can't wait to see it either. Ladies, how are you doing on your drink there? You doing all right there, Rachel? We had a lot.
You know
of
what? I'm
RCT
doing
talk.
okay. I can still read my notes, but I would like to say that even when I am off screen, I am abiding by our RCT drinking rule.
And so did I. Look, I don't know how big your drinks are, but I'm gonna be making a pit stop right after we're finished here. And ladies, I can't believe it. We're like at the end of the show. And before we end the show, we have to take a moment and say a big congratulations to Laura, who you just finished your 6 months of chemo. John, play some fun music.
Yes.
This is a celebratory drink.
Oh, yes. How does it feel to be done? So many people have been praying for you. We watched you go through this with just grace and beauty. How are you feeling? People want to know, and how does it feel to be done with that?
Was very glad to be done with it. It's not an easy thing to do, and very grateful to be feeling somewhat normal and to be able to continue to feel somewhat normal for a long time is great. And I actually have a scan tomorrow just to make sure everything's good and just find out what we'll do moving forward, but I feel all things are pointed to positivity. So we're good. Happy.
We're so happy for you. You have endured so much. And I know you've already seen this, but a lot of our watchers have not seen this. Everyone knows your love for Keith Morrison, and you got to get a special message for him, and I know you wanted to share that. So John, why don't you share that little message from Keith?
Laura, seems funny to say it maybe, but congratulations. Getting through chemo is one of life's bigger challenges. Glad you made it. Good luck in everything you do. Give my love to your family.
Oh, his voice. Hello. It's hello.
The heart wants what it wants. I can't help it. Sorry.
The heart wants what it wants.
And Laura, we love you. And I hope you have
girls.
felt
Thank
that
you.
in this time.
Thank you both so much for everything you've done throughout all this.
You are a warrior. The heart wants what it wants, but you know what the tummy wants? The tummy wants to know what our restaurant of the week is. And our restaurant of the week is a favorite of mine, is Maggiano's Italian over in the shops of Willow Bend. Really good event space. Not that anyone's having events now, but there's a lot of good event space. Giant plates of delicious scratch-made Italian food in Plano, just like a nonna used to make.
Oh, another accent!
Another one. I know. That's what you can learn at Rachel Ratcliffe's School of Amazing Theatrical Dialects. So it's a plug for me. But
Like the Rosetta Stone, girl.
Mostly it's a plug for Maggiano's. Thank you for your support. Go check them out and enjoy some delicious Italian food this week.
Well, ladies, it has been a great day to join together with you. And for everyone who's watching, we are so grateful that you joined us as well. Stay safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, spread the love, but not the germs. And until we see you next time, I am.
You are.
We are. RCT.
So if you look real close right here, see my bald spot?
Don't put your head up against that. Are we going to talk about bald spots? Do we really want to go there?
I'm already there, folks.
Oh,
So-
great.
You win.
You win.
Okay, we got shoulders today. Yay!
Hi. Is it good? Is it okay?
Looks great. Yeah,
All right.
looks
I'm
great.
gonna sit. I'm sitting on a pillow. So hopefully it'll help.
Okay.
Wait,
I
you
love
like
those.
Dateline NBC?
Yes, I do. And I only watch the episodes with Keith Morrison. If his name's not in the description, I delete it.
Theater. Well, so
You
yeah,
split,
I do
you
have
split
one.
some pants. You split some pants a couple times, haven't you?
I've split plants definitely at least once. That was during 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the loudest sound. I mean, it was so loud. I thought like a piece of wood had broken. It
Your
was that
pants
loud.
splitting.
Am I supposed to be here?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just watching.
It was like she was in the penalty box.
I know. She's not allowed to talk.
I'm just
They're like-
listen.
She has tape on her mouth. She's not allowed to talk.
And yet she can roll with it. It's like, really? Ooh.
That was great.
Ooh. Oh.
Can you pass me something down?
So this is gonna be Deidre by herself.
I'm not Deidre.
Some
Okay.
days I wish you were. Some days I wish you were.
You know, I'd do these fake mustaches and I'd use the tape
Yeah.
and it just wouldn't work. And it was just quivering and quivering. And then it fell off and then I stepped on it and it was stuck on my shoe. And I was tracking it around the scene.
If I was rich, I would pay him to come and sit by my bedside and read me bedtime
And read
stories.
to you.
And I could just go to sleep to the sound of his soothing, silver foxed tone voice. Love it. So good. He's just calming.
This wine was better 2 days ago.
It might be old. It might be old.